What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another Back for Blood deck build video, and today, well, Back for Blood is back and better than ever. With the December update, Turtle Rock Studios has made a complete 180 compared to their November update and listened to the player base and made changes to the game for the better. Now, from this point, we do have some new cards, only 3 that I could actually see from the patch notes, but when it comes to the old cards, more than a handful of them have been completely reworked, different stats, different attributes, completely different from what they were originally. This is going to make a lot more versatility when it comes to some of the decks, and give us a lot more versatility when it comes to going into Nightmare decks, which is going to be very exciting. The main focus that we were all looking for was the ability to make Nightmare something that was manageable or even doable. If you played Nightmare previous to this update, you'll completely understand that the special infected spawning rate was absurd. The corruption cards straight off the bat in Act 1 were overwhelming, completely making them the tankiest special infected you could possibly imagine. And just not being able to utilize decks other than a speed build really just ruined the game. It just didn't feel like a true end-game experience in my personal opinion, forcing me to only utilize movement as something that would help me to make it through Nightmare campaign. As somebody who made it through Nightmare previously, a lot of people are complaining that this is too easy now. They don't know what they're talking about. More than likely, they never made it through the Nightmare Act or Nightmare campaign at all, if even past Act 1. And me personally, as somebody who made it through, I honestly did not enjoy my experience with it. It was a complete work grind, and it just didn't feel like the way it was fully intended to, and luck was pure basis on even making it through in certain moments. A lot of tactics went into it that are in some previous guides, but I will need to update those guides since the mobility cards have been nerfed. There will be different guides coming in the future, and I will be doing exclusively Nightmare decks from this point forward since I was not able to in the past. Now, that being said, they did make it easier, but it is not completely easy. And these people saying that it is easier are arguably only looking at the Act 1 experience as of right now, considering the corruption cards are reduced and the special infected's damage and health are reduced as well. It does make it a bit easier, but it is still a challenging experience, and as you progress through the campaign, it will only increase in difficulty. This is going to make for a much more rewarding and enjoyable experience, in my opinion, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it right now as I'm able to make actual decks for Nightmare and push through utilizing our skills, able to clear out the special infected and common infected, and utilize that map knowledge and chapter understanding of each event going through the campaign to make it on through instead of feeling like it's just purely based on luck. Now, that being said, we've made a bit of a long intro, but we're getting straight into this. We've got the AR Nightmare DPS deck. We will be doing more Nightmare DPS decks, or Nightmare decks in general, going forward from this point. If you'd like to see that, or if you'd like to see some of that content live as I'm making some of them, working through the Nightmare campaign, head to the link down in the description. Follow me over at Twitch. We'll be streaming every day. Now, that being said, let's get straight into the deck. Obviously, if you'd like to copy and paste this deck, head down in the description below. I'll have it listed in order by name. We're starting off with the AR Nightmare DPS. I know a lot of people like that full auto weapon. They want that DPS deck as well. They want to be that heavy hitter. We've got the deck for you right here. Now, Patient Hunter to start off with, this is another one of those cards that got a bit changed. It got buffed. It used to be every 1 second you aim down sights, increase your damage by 10%. Now it's 0.75, so you're getting that 30% damage buff a lot quicker than you were before. Now, this is just going to help us in some of those moments, especially with the AR, since we're utilizing ADS with the AR. You're not going to be hip firing that weapon. You're going to be going for that precision, especially going for that weak spot, and you want that amplified damage. Now, you will still need a healer person with you on this deck. We will have some survivability with this deck, but you want somebody on your team in order to be able to heal in some of those moments where you're taking some of those hits, or maybe possibly misjudging that moment when the tall boy or bruiser is coming at you and you feel like you should be able to kill it, but wasn't exactly happening in that moment. So that is something to note. But right after that, we've got Hyper Focus. We get that plus 50% weak spot damage. Now, this card did get a bit of a buff in a way. It used to be negative 70 or 75% to ADS move speed. Now it's negative 40% move speed while shooting or melee attacking, giving us a bit more of that mobility that we didn't have before, whereas it felt like as soon as we ADS, we're just kind of a pole in the ground, not able to really move at all, just stiff as could be. Well, that's going to help out a lot with this, and it's going to help us get that kind of melter ability when it comes to some of the special affected, especially early on before the corruptions cards get extremely ruthless later on. But right after that, padded suit, like I said, we want some of that survivability. This is Nightmare. It's still going to be challenging. The common infected are still dealing some heavy damage, as well as the special infected. Trust me, it did not get brought down to its knees. It is still pretty deadly, and if you just get caught off guard or make one mistake, it still can end you. But with that note, we're getting that 10% damage resistance, 5 health, and stamina efficiency. We're getting a little hit to that, but it's not going to break this build. Now, right after that Shredder, we're adding more to that DPS. Each bullet hit causes the target to take 1% increased damage for 3 seconds, stacks up to 15%. So by this point, if we have the full stack of Patient Hunter along with Shredder, we're gaining 45% additional damage. And if we're hitting that weak spot damage, we got that 50% going on right there. I believe these two are multiplicative, means they'll multiply to your weak spot damage. I believe Swing Point made that point inside of his video, so we'll not only have 15% times that 50%, but we'll also have 30% times that 50%. We're going to be an absolute melter with this. Now, their health in Nightmare is still going to be a bit larger than normal, so it won't feel exactly like a melting point, but it's going to give us enough of that damage to get them down as quick as possible before they start dealing damage to our team, or even more damage than they should with us being DPS. But right for that Tunnel Vision, I don't remember if this card was in this previous two. Right now, like I said, only saw 3 new cards coming in, but I never saw the attributes from this card before. It may have been here before and completely reworked. But right now, we're getting every 0.75 seconds. You aim down sights, give us 5% weak spot damage, stacking up to 3 times, which means we're getting an additional 15% weak spot damage. On top of that, we're also gaining 50% aim speed. Now, one thing to note, when I built this deck out, I was going for Walker, but I ended up utilizing this especially for the Mom Cleaner. One thing to note inside of Nightmare difficulty, we definitely want somebody playing as the Mom character because it's the only way that you can guarantee the entire team getting an extra life besides one of them utilizing that card inside of their deck. Sometimes it may be good to have that card for an extra life as well as the Mom character playing, so that way we can go down twice before completely dying and needing that defib unit. But at that same point, with Mom, if you're starting off in Act 1 especially, you're going to have that ranch rifle, and it can be a bit slow on that ADS, but it does have that high damage. But that aim speed is going to help out with that ADS speed to where we can snap in. I had more than a few moments trying to take out some common infected, trying to snap on them. Ended up being a bit slower than what I felt or thought it was going to be, and ended up missing my shots, taking a bit more damage than I wanted to. So that benefit of that aim speed is going to be huge for you when it comes to utilizing the ARs. Now, we will take a hit to our 5% damage resistance with this, but that's not going to be a huge thing. But like I said before, utilizing that Mom character is going to be a huge benefit to your entire team, and utilizing her with this class, something that you will need to talk about with the team. If you're going in with randoms, make sure that they know that you're going to be DPS and not a healer, because some people will play Mom as a healer role since she does have that additional support inventory slot. But more than likely you want Mom and Dog playing on the same team. It's going to be a dynamic duo that you'll see in a lot of Nightmare builds. And at the same point, if you do have a solid healer and there you are using the card Medical Professional, anytime that they use a defib unit or possibly a med kit, you're going to gain that extra life back. Now, if you don't have that extra life and you have nobody playing as a Mom character to give you that extra life, or that card with an extra life, Medical Professional will not work. It will not grant an extra life to anybody unless they already previously had an extra life. So one thing to note, was very frustrated by that. I was hoping that Medical Professional would just give somebody an extra life, give him more survivability to the rest of the team as a healer, but without the character Mom or that card gaining an extra life, it cannot be used properly. Now, right after that, Fresh Bandage, another one of those cards that got buffed. Before, previously, I believe it was just heals 10 trauma damage at the start of each level, which was decent, but it didn't give us the, it wasn't a card that you wanted to slot in for something else that could have been better. But now is one of those cards that I believe more than a few decks are going to be utilizing this, especially in Nightmare, because healing 15 trauma damage and health at the start of each level is going to be huge in some of those moments, especially if maybe your teamwork was pretty solid, got a bit rough in certain moments, but you didn't take too much damage. You're not going to need any healing when it comes to the next level or the next safe room, and that's going to save a lot on copper. You're going to be able to utilize that copper towards other things besides healing, or give that capability of your healer to maintain some of that healing products they already have, and buy up some of those team support or team I'm forgetting the name of it, those team slots that gain us those inventory slots or upgrade some of the offensive supportive inventory. But right after that, we've got NUMB. We want to gain that plus 15% damage resistance while you have temporary health. The big thing about why this card is in this deck is for utilizing the mom character, since we will have that additional support inventory slot. You're going to want to hold 2 pain pills at all times. This is going to increase your survivability in some of those moments when, say, you will want somebody else on DPS with you. It's going to help out a lot, or especially for clearing common infected. But in some of those moments when maybe you're stuck off, you've had to move away from some of the special infected that you've been focusing on, or possibly focusing on the special infected and some of the common infected rolled up, didn't really realize it, you're damaged, or you're taking a good bit of damage, you'll be able to pop those pain pills, still be able to take a little bit of damage as you're trying to flee away or just clear out some of those infected around you, as well as having that damage resistance on top of that temporary health that you've already gained. But right after that, we've got Silver Bullets. If you remember this card previously, it did have a negative effect to it, but now it even has a better secondary effect. Instead of bullet penetration, we have 15% effective bullet range, which is going to be huge. It's going to give us that amplified damage at range. So some of those special infected off in the distance, especially spitters, hawkers, or stalkers, they'll be off at a longer distance, sometimes hanging off the side of a wall. You want that amplified damage for some of those moments when they're a pretty good distance away, instead of having that moment where your damage just isn't quite there. You start shooting them, and next thing you know, Hawker's throwing something at you, or Spitter's dealing that massive damage from each spit. But on top of that, at the same point, we're gaining that 10% bullet damage. Now, right after that, Ridden Slayer, we've got that 20% weak spot damage. This is going to help us out with just melting some of those special infected. One thing to note, completely forgot about this. This card is a little bit lower down. If you feel like you need this card up a bit higher, say on the second mission or the third mission, say things didn't go exactly as you planned it, you took more damage than you wanted to, you could choose this card earlier on over the padded suit or the shredder. It's one of those moments that's up to your choice. If you need it, it's definitely something to go for that added healing, because more than likely you're going to want that added healing more than you're going to want that DPS in that moments early on in the campaign, just to ensure that you're making it to that first or second checkpoint. Since in Nightmare, those checkpoints are going to be having a lot more space between them, that could be something to utilize early on. But right after that, when it comes to Ridden Slayer, we got Tactical Vest. We're gaining that 30% rifle ammo capacity and 10% damage with assault rifles and LMGs. Big thing about ammo in this game, when it comes to common infected, you want to utilize your sidearm with this build. Ammunition inside of Nightmare is going to be a lot more scarce. It's going to be a lot harder to come by in certain moments. You're really going to have to utilize that teamwork, make sure that each person's using a different weapon, storing up the rest of that ammo that you possibly couldn't hold on to. And if you just utilize the AR the entire time, you're going to completely run out of ammo more than a few times, and that could mean the end of a run right there. So keep that in mind. Utilize that secondary with this build in order to clear some of those common infected, unless it's one of those make or break moments where you just got to get some common infected off some people. But a lot of times we're going to utilize that rifle ammo for any special infected we see, and maybe a few of the common infected. You will really want to conserve on that ammo when it comes to Nightmare. And right after that, Cold Brew Coffee. This is another one of those cards that has changed up for the better. We've got 15% reload speed, 25% to aim speed, 25% to weapon swap speed, and 25% to use speed. This is going to make some of those moments when reviving somebody or using any type of item, from a pipe bomb to healing ourselves, possibly even using the pain pills. It's just going to make it that much faster, as well as giving us that ability to swap weapons quicker. And that reload speed, we all need that no matter what gun you're using. It's going to be a huge benefit. Reckless Strategy, right after that, we're getting more of that melter power when it comes to our weak spot damage. Now we do take another hit to our damage resistance from this, but don't worry, we've already mitigated that with the padded suit. By this point, it's going to be more about our damage. You're going to be hitting very hard at this point, and you're going to be melting stuff. You're going to have to utilize that ability to, or utilize your mobility in order to make that spacing between common infected, special infected. You want to take this slow. You want to keep clearing areas. You don't want to just rush on in and then get surrounded. You really got to think about it when it comes to Nightmare. Trust me, those people are lying when they say it's too easy. If you mess up, it will be the ruining of a run. But right after that, we've got Avenge the Fallen. This is one of those cards that you could arguably take out and throw something in. If you were looking for more mobility, this is something you could take out, but it's something that could be beneficial later on, especially say you're getting towards that next checkpoint. You know, you're in 2 or 3 missions, or say at the, it would be closer to the finale by the time you'd get this card. It's one of those moments where say you're getting closer to that finish line and then something goes wrong. You know, special infected come out of nowhere. They drop 2 of your teammates. You know, things are getting a bit overwhelming. This is going to give you that damage buff and that reload speed buff and unlimited ammo at that same time. So say it's one of those moments where you ran out of ammo, boom, as soon as somebody goes down, you got that reload speed, you're popping that new mag in from unlimited ammo, and you're laying waste to anything that's in the vicinity of you. It's just going to give you that amplified buff, as well as giving the people that may not be DPS that amplified buff in case you go down, in order to take out some of those special infected or anything that they normally wouldn't be able to handle previous to this damage buff. So that's something to look at. But if you're looking for more mobility, this is one of those cards that I'd say, yeah, you could throw this out and gain something else. But right after that, we've got large caliber rounds. That's just going to add to our more bullet damage, and we're gaining 200% bullet pin, since we are an AR. That can be beneficial, but it's not going to be the biggest deal when it comes to amplifying the damage for our AR. And to finish it all off, WIDEMOUth MAGWELL, we want that 30% reload speed. We will be taking another hit to that damage resistance. This is one of those moments where you could arguably take out either large caliber rounds or Avenge the Fallen and trade it out for something that adds more of that damage resistance. It's up to you. Me personally, the reload speed is a bit slow in the beginning, but it was something that was manageable for me. If you felt like you needed more reload speed early on, obviously move this one up into the deck. But for me personally, cold brew coffee, or arguably through some of the runs that I've already made, only made it up to the 8 card, and this was doing great. We've got some gameplay to showcase this off from the final mission in Nightmare. I feel like they changed it up a bit, but at the same point, it showcases how well this can do, the damage it can produce. We could arguably put more damage into this, but we want to put in that survivability and a little bit to help out our teammates. Nightmare is still going to be a grueling process, but it's going to be more of a fun and rewarding experience now after this update. Now that's going to be the AR Nightmare DPS deck. We've got tomorrow I'll be working on a healer deck. Going to get that one up for Nightmare. I know a lot of people are going to be looking for that, as well as more DPS builds. We've also got a lot of changes to some of these cards. It's going to be some utility decks that are going to be like support team guy that's going to give ammo, health, all sorts of other things. Some of the changes to these cards are increasing the ability for support builds tremendously. I felt like before it was kind of like you had 1 or 2 options where it was kind of like, do you want to go for copper? Do you want to go for offensive inventory slots? Or do you want to do a little mix of those two? Now it feels like you can give a whole lot more, including health, including the ability to drop ammo for other people. There's a whole lot more versatility when it comes to deck building now, and for the better. I'm really enjoying it. Hope you guys are too. Hope this has helped you out. And again, if you'd like to see some of this content live, hit the link in the description below. I'll be streaming this every day for the next couple of days, building out more Nightmare decks, building out different guides for Nightmare as well, since now we're able to take it slow, utilize our teamwork and our abilities and decks in general in order to push on through. And it's just going to be a much more fun experience. Now on that note, we'll get straight into the gameplay, and hope you guys enjoy.
What happened on the second phase? Just all the shit, eh?
Yeah, it's like as soon as you threw it, it's like I needed you to throw it immediately, and then I got pulled by the common infected as they ran for it.
Yeah.
And I just needed another one right after.
As you were running, like I was trying to heal you with a pill, so then I was like, the time I like switched through it, it was like,
Anyone want a quick hand of poker? No? Then let's go kill some shit.
Don't give me an LMG. It's fucking RPK.
I feel like I need the magazine size and reload. more than anything.
I'll take it.
That was not a Beretta burst. That was not a Glock full auto either. All right, let's roll.
My God, the area's riddled with tunnels.
Oh, there's already special infected out here, huh? That's new. He's about to slam down on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Bitch proof. Look at the damage you did to me, bro. What a loser.
God, I wish the hitbox was better on this thing.
You do your yours.
Gotcha. Stalker. Damn. Yeah, clear it out first. Beautiful. Back up to the corner, back up to the corner. And booming.
Is that your last one?
Yeah, that's my last one right there. Got. Yep, down.
Reloading here.
Got more on the left side.
You know what, man? It's really not ideal, this gun. It's unreal how, like, much worse the RPK is from the,
Oh, yeah, that accuracy.
Devil. Nah, it's just not working. I can't hit shit before I was actually sniping shit.
Back up. So you're gonna throw a pipe?
Take care of this. Thanks.
Is that efficiency left side?
Spitter.
Fucking acid, dude.
Yeah, it's bad. Something. Fucking hell, dude. It really does just take one.
I've had worse tick bites.
Is that it?
Just takes one common infected to fuck you up. Pipe on, pipe on, pipe on, pipe on, pipe, 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 pipe.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, you're not clearing it. Fuck, I've already used that. I need this boss to go down, man, so I can get some more health.
This guy?
Easy, easy.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
A minute here.
Oh shit, he's gonna slam down on him easy.
There's ammo left side.
Catch.
Yeah, I can get that mid.
More ammo. Let's wait for those special infected, get rid of them. Oh fuck, I fell in. Oh shit, alright.
Slowly coming.
Oh my god, they blend in. Whoa. Alright.
Dude, the rest speed is so fucking slow.
Oh yeah.
It's unreal.
Thanks, Bob.
We gotta move to the left. Oh, that's a melter.
I'll take it.
Oh no.
You or me, honey?
Come on, I'm good.
Gotcha.
Oh no, sugar, you ain't running from this fight.
Yeah, this is so much better with more ammunition.
You guys okay? We're coming to help. Sorry, hon. Just give me your day.
Fuck, there's help on this side.
Now you're gonna die.
I'm down.
Timing is everything.
Got a bruiser. I'm gonna need one of those pipe bombs now.
Yeah, it's down, it's already down.
Catch.
I'm about to fucking go down. Fuck. Unreal. Yeah, dude. Well, I kind of saw this coming. I need to do like 2 tweaks to that thing to actually make it viable. Effectively, there's only 4 cards I'm even using. Since I just went, you know, accessory damage, all that shit.
Give the devil my head. Don't wait up, okay? We got it now.
This is Phillips. If anyone's reading this, you have to stop the creature before
You can't shoot it in here? I was about to say.
Oh no, you don't.
Beautiful.